Well, since the banking crisis, the Liberal Democrats have been coming up with a whole series of initiatives and ideas to deal with the aftermath. Proposals around how we get bank lending going to good British companies, how we deal with the bonus culture, and in particular how we deal with this enormous problem of these big global banks that are too big to fail, and which potentially are an enormous burden on the taxpayers, of course they have been in the aftermath of this crisis. What we want to see are these banks broken up along the lines suggested by the Governor of the Bank of England, but this is not something that can happen immediately. And what we suggest is that the banks, all banks that require taxpayer protection, should pay a fee, a kind of insurance premium, which we notionally suggest should be something of the order of 10% of bank profits, raising under current conditions about £2 billion, which is effectively a charge on the banks for the fact that the government is underwriting them. Other industries, of course, don't have this privilege. Banking is rather special in that respect. And this is a levy that would be imposed on all banks. It would exclude mutuals. Of course, we're not banks on the official definition. All banks would be required to pay it if they make profits, and they couldn't, as under the present conditions, not pay by offsetting previous losses. Currently the banks pay very little profits tax. So I think the underlying point here is that we want to see the banks broken up. We want to see Britain moving away from this very, very risky system whereby the big banks combine traditional lending, utility lending to individuals and businesses, combined with what the Governor of the Bank of England calls casino operations. We want to see that kind of banking split up. But in the meantime, until we get that kind of long-term stability, it's reasonable to ask that banks pay a small levy to cover the taxpayer for the risk involved.